How are you leveraging artificial intelligence today in your organization? Which parts of the organization are able to fully leverage automation and other types of capabilities to accelerate better customer experiences? Hi, I'm Peter Nichol, Data Science CIO. Today, we're going to talk about natural language processing, also known as NLP, and how NLP can help accelerate technology adoption in your organization. So first, what is NLP? NLP is a combination of linguistics and computer science. Essentially, it helps computers better understand what we as humans are trying to say. It helps read text and interpret language, measure sentiment, and ultimately trying to understand what exactly we mean behind what we're saying and what that text is. It's a combination of text and speech, what is actually just said and what is truly being meant by what we say. There's a lot of different ways we're seeing NLP being adopted into organizations today. First, we have chatbots and other types of customer-based tools that allow consumers to interface and interact with technology in more simplistic terms. They recognize patterns and phraseology and other types of things that we're trying to do, basically driven by intent. Common examples might be Siri or other types of search engines like Google and other areas where we're trying to be able to interpret some type of outcome, spam filtering, or even capabilities such as speech recognition and cognition, or even grammar error checking, is going through and interpreting what we say and trying to match it to different phrases and see if that's technically what we really mean by those types of inputs. Another example is text classification. If you take a look at your email, whether it's Gmail or another provider, when you start to see it categorized in different ways, you'll have your primary email or core email, and you'll have spam or marketing or social, and it will tag your email based on different interpretations. NLP is behind all that type of stuff. Really, it's artificial intelligence, but essentially it's looking at what you say, what text is being written, and interpreting what you actually mean or what that speech is trying to be interpreted as. As we start to get more and more adoption, what we realize is there's a lot of potential for leveraging NLP in our environments when we start to focus on automation and ultimately data or technology adoption. Focusing on data democratization is a good example. We're trying to have a data-driven culture and make more people aware of how to leverage and optimize data, provide insights, and determine and interpret analytics from larger data sources. But it's not always possible. A lot of the data that we use, whether it's social media or other types of generic input, even voice, is unstructured. It doesn't really fit in well with columns and rows and specific structures. It's unstructured. And as a result, we need different ways to interpret that data. Historically, we needed very specific individuals that could interpret and understand how that unstructured data could be aggregated and cleansed and ultimately provided to consumers. But today, with data democratization, we're trying to provide access to tools and technologies to make the interpretation and ultimately the generation of insights simpler and more accessible to a broader range of individuals. Why do we care? Well, we're trying to build a data-driven culture. Part of building the data-driven culture is giving access to the data to individuals that otherwise might not have it. So as you're thinking about how to build that data-driven culture, how to provide additional automation, and generate new ways of working with your business applications, start to look to NLP and how artificial intelligence can accelerate some of those initiatives. Hi, I'm Peter Nichol, Data Science CIO. Have a great week.